Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday edition of Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. Today is Tuesday, 17 October 2023, and my name is Winifred Webo. I'll be your only guest on today's program. I'll be your only host of today's program. Unfortunately, my guest is unavoidably absent today. So we are going to be doing the first segment of the show only, where we review front page headline stories of some select newspapers. Of course, as usual on the program, we like to flag up with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership leads with despite 7 trillion naira investment, poor power supply lingers. Despite 7 trillion naira investment, poor power supply lingers. Of course, there's a graphic illustration of the headline story underneath the story. We have 7 trillion naira. The federal government has spent 7 trillion naira as direct interventions in the power sector. 223, Nigeria's national grid has experienced a total of 223 collapses since 2010. There have been reports of 108 power transmission towers being destroyed by vandals between January 2022 and September 2023. Experts estimate that Nigeria must invest over $100 million in the power sector over the next 2 decades. The cost of power outage in Nigeria is estimated at around $29 billion. And last but not the least, a World Bank sponsored report in 2021 showed that 85 million Nigerians are not connected to the grid. For more on this, log on to the website. Well, before we leave leadership, we still have other news items gracing the cover of the paper. Olukoyede eminently qualified as EFCC chairman. Falana. Federal government proposes 26 trillion naira for 2024 budget. Inflation rises to 26.72% on higher food prices. Israel-Palestine war, death toll hits 4,100. UN agencies robbing Nigeria of donor funds, federal government. Niger ban, rising crude price, raise cost of cooking gas. And above the masthead of leadership, we have Appeal Court sacks Adamawa Senator Elisha Abu. Protesting electricity workers throw candle into darkness. From this, we move over to the page 3 of leadership, where we have our stand. Our stand today is on At Last, Justice for Mrs. Bolanle Rahim. At last, justice for Mrs. Bolanle Rahim. And with that, we move to the back page of leadership Tuesday column with Ray Murphy and his Ray Murphy's writing on of kidnappings and missing genitals in quote. For more on this continuation of headline stories, log on to the website of Leadership newspaper, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to Blueprint. Blueprint is the next on my menu. Blueprint says federal government projects 26 trillion naira 2024 budget, 8 trillion naira for debt servicing. Amongst 1.3 trillion naira for statutory transfers, 10.26 trillion naira for non-current expenditure. Moves 7.78 trillion naira for personnel pension costs. Inflation rises to 26.72% in September. Nigeria to face higher debt burden in 2024, IMF. The story continues on page 20 and page 21 of the paper. And underneath that, we have strike. FEC adopts 30 days implementation of Memorandum of Understanding with Labour. Strike. Federal Executive Council FEC adopts 30 days implementation of MOU with Labour. EFCC arrests suspect for 2 billion naira foreign exchange fraud in Lagos. How IPOB killed my friend Gabriel for refusing to join group God Stand. The story is on page 8 of Blueprint newspaper. How IPOB killed my friend Gabriel for refusing to join group. And beneath that, we have Akpabio behind my OG, sacked Adamawa Senator Abu cries out. Claims Oji Kalu, 3 others next in line. Vows return in 2027. And Akpabio replies, leave me out of your travails. We move up where we have White Tinubu renamed Ministry of Information and Culture, Malagi. Fake news, disinformation threatening elections in Nigeria, according to INEC. Osun, 3 personal slump waiting for screening. Osun, 3 pensioners slump waiting for screening. 120 people with disabilities to get 120 wheelchairs from JAMB, you beg others. For more on this, log on to the website of Blueprint newspaper. We move on to the next one on the line, and it is THISDAY. THISDAY says FEC passes MTEF projects 26.01 trillion naira budget for 2024. FEC passes MTEF projects 26.01 trillion naira budget for 2024. Benchmark crude oil price at $73.96 per barrel. Projects 1.77 million barrel per day. Pegs dollar at 700 naira. Justifies fresh $1.5 billion World Bank loan. Directs continuation of inherited 12,000 kilometers of roads and 12 bridges. Says meeting will no longer hold weekly. This is from FEC yesterday that was held in Presidential Villa. FEC passes MTEF projects 26.01 trillion naira budget for 2024. And above that, we have Akintola Williams provided professional shade to over 60,000 chartered accountants, says ICANN president. FEC okays 30 days implementation of MOU with Labour. Story continues on page 8 of THISDAY. And just above the masthead, we have Biden, US powerful enough to handle Ukraine. Israel wars, maintain global defense commitments. Biden, that is US president, US powerful enough to handle Ukraine. Israel wars, maintain global defense commitments. Story continues on page 9 of THISDAY. Higher energy, food commodity prices drive inflation to 26.72%. Higher energy, food, commodity prices drive inflation to 26.72%. Severe in Kogi, Rivers, Lagos, others. Rewani says bad roads contributing to higher food prices. For more on this, you have to log on to the website of THISDAY, www.thisdaylive.com. And still on budget issues, we move over to the Punch. Punch has similar stories. 2024, federal government plans 26 trillion naira budget, debt servicing to go 8.25 trillion naira. Rider says personnel debt service costs to go 62% of 26 trillion naira. Government plans 700 naira to dollar. Federal government okays 2024 to 2026 MTEF. Tinubu to present signed budget before December 31st. And of course, we have protests yesterday staged by workers of NIPOST. And the leading story and the story for that pictures on the Punch says new CEO resumes at NIPOST amid protests by workers. Story continues on page 27 of the Punch. Palliatives, Nigerians condemn poor ration, lambast governors. Police arrest 30 trying to disrupt Kano mass wedding. Akpabio behind my removal from Senate, Abu alleges. And above the masthead of the Punch, we have federal government gets over $1.5 billion fresh World Bank AFDB loans December. Edu, Finance Minister. Subsidy removal, Naira 4 push food inflation to 30.64%. Israeli Hamas putting the masses fire. Cardinal offers serve for hostages. For more on the Punch, log on to the website of the Punch for the continuation of the headline stories, inside pages, and of course the editorial. From the Punch is similar story on the Nation. The Nation says federal government proposes 26 trillion naira appropriation for next year. Lawmakers to get supplementary budget. FEC endorses $1.5 billion World Bank loan. Empower beneficiaries to get pay backlog from next month. Ayedatiwa loses bid to stall impeachment. Court faces October 30th for suit. I'm in charge. Akeredolu test protesting PDP chieftains. I'll take that again. The deputy governor of Ondo State, Ayedatiwa, loses bid to stall impeachment. Court faces October 30 for suit. I'm in charge. Akeredolu test protesting PDP chieftains. And of course, we have governor raises the alarm over Cameroonian rebels presence in Taraba. Governor raises the alarm over Cameroonian rebels presence in Taraba. And above the masthead of the nation, we have Akpabio sacked Abo clash over appeal court verdict. Akpabio sacked Abo clash over appeal court verdict. Food, fuel prices push inflation to 26.72%. IMF phenomenal global. Red Cross to lift 1.09 million Nigerians with 227 million Swiss francs. Kogi West elders endorse ADC candidate Abejide. For more stories on the nation, inside stories, editorial and back page, log on to the website of the nation. And from the nation, we move swiftly to Daily Sun. Daily Sun has similar, different story, separate from other newspapers. It says reps under fire over 130 million naira SUV. Nigerians furious, federal lawmakers are getting expensive vehicles at time of economic hardship. We are heading for devastating food crisis, Obi. Dry season famine, Osun Ekiti, Ondo upbeat on bumper harvest. Nigerians groan as inflation rate hits 26.72%. Ninth consecutive rise in 2023. Again, gunmen raid to Niger local government areas, adopt 50. Senator urges federal government security agencies to act fast. PDP, Wike, BOT chairman clash over national secretary position. Tinubu must address structural imbalance, Ashimolowo. Advocates focus on SMEs by federal government. And of course, the second leading story on the cover of Daily Sun says 2024 appropriation. Federal government projects 26 trillion naira. Best crude oil benchmark at $73.96. Impeachment. Court to hear Akeredolu Ayedatiwa's applications October 30. The story continues on page 26 of Daily Sun. And just beside the masthead of Daily Sun, we have strike. Federal government okays 30-day implementation of MOU with Labour. Continuation of these inside stories, back page editorial, log on to the website of Daily Sun. From Daily Sun, we move over to The Guardian. The Guardian is next on our menu. The Guardian says at 1,000 to a dollar, 30,000, 30% inflation, over 90% Nigerians denied healthy diet. At 1,000 to a dollar, 30% inflation, over 90% Nigerians denied healthy diet. This is a leading story and exclusive on The Guardian. The Guardian also, as usual, has a data analysis of the headline story just beneath the story. And underneath that, we have APC accuses appeal court panel of compromise as justices recuse themselves. APC accuses appeal court panel of compromise as justices recuse themselves. The story continues on page 3 of The Guardian. Tension in 9 posts as Odeyemi defies protest resumes as Postmaster General. Tension in 9 posts as Odeyemi defies protest resumes as PMG, that is Postmaster General. Continuation of the story is on page 3 of The Guardian. Of course, there was news reported yesterday that the workers went on a protest over the assumption of office of the newly appointed Postmaster General of 9 posts. Federal government pegs forest rate at 700 to a dollar as overhead costs spike 26 trillion naira 2024 budget. Federal government pegs forest rates at 700 naira to a dollar as overhead costs spike 26 trillion naira 2024 budget. Israel-Hamas conflict, Sultan demands end to killings of civilians in Gaza. States issue 1.13 trillion naira bonds in 44 years. Motorcyclist mob police inspector to death in Delta. November 14 Guba poll, state of the race in Bayelsa. Stories continues on pages 22 to 24 in The Guardian. For more of these inside stories, editorial and back page, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move over to the last paper on our menu this Tuesday, October 17, 2023. It's on PDP, Labour fire FG as cost of food items drive inflation to 26.7%. PDP, Labour Party fire FG as cost of food items drive inflation to 26.7%. Riders say presidency APC keep mum. NBC's report on soaring food prices verdict on Tinubu's rule. Labour Party. Nigerians now spend income on food, yet not enough. Obi. Tinubu APC unprepared for governance. PDP. No respite for consumer prices. Analyst. And of course, we have plight of pensioners in the picture page, pictorial on the Vanguard cover. A pensioner who collapsed while waiting for the government audit team at the ongoing forensic audit of active and passive workers of Osun State being stretched out of the center in Osogbo. Sad. Another pensioner being led away from the center yesterday. What a sorry situation. Other story says Adamawa North, Abo attacks Akpabio over appeal court sack. Women Affairs Minister to sue UN over management of donor funds. Super Eagles beat 10-man members 3-2. That is international friendly, still on sports. Israeli threat of grand invasion doesn't scare us. Hamas. Strike. Federal government okays implementation of 30 days MOU with Labour. And this takes us right above the masthead of Vanguard. Bonny light price leaps to $92.24 per barrel on positive forecast. PDP crisis, Wike queries acting board chairman Owabara. Southern Kaduna, how 14 persons were killed, 31 kidnapped. Sukapu. Federal government proposes 26.01 trillion naira for 2024 appropriation. And of course, the last story on the cover of Vanguard is a clearance of EFCC chairman. All eyes on the Senate Malam Nuhu Rubadu and the intelligence community. For more on this continuation of these headline stories, inside pages of Vanguard, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper, www.vanguardngr.com. 5 years or too soon, we've come to the end of today's Inside Nigeria. Fortunately, as I mentioned earlier, we don't have a guest in the house today for more on this, to shed light on some of these headline stories. Well, same time tomorrow, we are going to be on, of course. Hopefully, we'll have a guest in the house. Until I come your way again tomorrow, don't forget, security is everybody's responsibility. See you then. I'm winning for the people. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.